Canelo Alvarez finally speaks on David Benavidez and reveals what PBC or any promoter will have to do in order to get him to fight David Benavidez. Y'all don't want to miss this one. Make sure y'all hit my like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subbed, and let's cook. Canelo Alvarez, the face of boxing, the only face of boxing, the real face of boxing. And the reason I say this is because Canelo epitomizes exactly what boxing has turned into today in 2024. Yeah, Canelo is the face of it. The face of ducking, the face of strategically picking opponents, the face of making a million excuses when you finally have an opponent that presents a real threat that you're terrified of, that you don't think that you can beat. And in this case, for Canelo, it's David Benavidez, the Mexican monster. Yeah, the real boogeyman. Canelo's terrified of David Benavidez, and he proves it more and more anytime he opens his mouth about David Benavidez. Well, usually he doesn't even open his mouth and say anything about David Benavidez because he knows that the media is going to press him and back him up and walk him into a wall. But this time, he finally broke his silence on David Benavidez. And Canelo, yeah, he just proved how much of a punk he really is. Now, I know all of the Canelo maniacs and crybabies, you already getting ready to type in the comments and you're already crying. Go ahead and do what you want to do because this is who your favorite fighter is. This is who your favorite fighter is. Canelo, the last time we heard him talk after beating up Jermell Charlo that had to come up 2 weight divisions off of a hand injury and a 16-month layoff, Canelo grabbed the microphone and said, he's the best fighter in the world. Nobody, I mean nobody can beat him. Well, he lied because he don't even think that himself. Now, we all know that he's been ducking David Benavidez for years. David Benavidez has been Canelo Alvarez's mandatory on 3 separate occasions. David Benavidez is going on years on being his mandatory this time. But why hasn't Canelo fought David Benavidez? Well, if you ask Canelo today, he says David Benavidez brings nothing to the table at all but 20 plus extra pounds on fight night. Now, all of a sudden, David Benavidez is too big for you to fight? Y'all in the same weight division. Is this the same Canelo that moved all the way up to 175 and fought Kovalev? So you mean David Benavidez that fights in your division that's been your mandatory for I don't know how long now, he's too big for you, but Kovalev wasn't too big for you? Callum Smith wasn't too big for you? Rocky Fieldhand wasn't too big for you? All of these fighters that I'm naming, they're all bigger than David Benavidez. That's interesting, ain't it? So, like I said, it's always a million excuses when it comes to David Benavidez. We also know that Canelo Alvarez was offered $60 million to fight David Benavidez. He turned it down. Now Canelo is saying they can't give me an offer. I can make that type of money with anybody. So you mean to tell me that you can get $60 million up front fighting Jaime Munguia? Nah, you're not. You mean to tell me you made $60 million up front when you fought Bivol? You absolutely did not. See, Canelo's a flat out liar because he hasn't made that type of money ever in his career up front. He's never gotten paid $60 million up front to fight anybody. But Canelo, he backtracked. Yeah, he contradicted himself. I'm going to let y'all hear exactly how Canelo contradicted himself, right? And how Canelo lied to the whole world and also proved that he is the biggest pussy in all of the sport of boxing. Listen to what Canelo had to say about fighting David Benavidez and the only way he'll fight David Benavidez.
Nothing to offer me money, I'm the one. So, but one promoter who I work to, they come and say, I offer to you 150 to 200 million. I fight tomorrow.
Canelo,
That's the only reason I fight with him. They come and say, I offer to you 150 to 200 million. I fight tomorrow.
Canelo,
That's the only reason I fight with him, because the only thing he brings to the table is 25 more pounds.
150 to 200 million dollars. We gonna get to that, right? Yeah, we gonna get to that. But first, let's get to when he says that David Benavidez brings nothing to the table. Absolutely nothing. What does Jaime Munguia bring to the table? I want some of y'all that's crying in the comments right now to tell me what Jaime Munguia brings to the table. We know the answer to that, and the answer is absolutely nothing but an easy win, an opponent that once again you strategically picked out because you believe that he doesn't present any type of threat to give you another L on your record. That's exactly what Jaime Munguia brings to the table. And now let's address the mandatory issues, right? Well, the issue is that Canelo never has a problem fighting his mandatory when it's a Rudy Poo, but all of a sudden now he doesn't want to fight his mandatory because y'all gonna say, well, he only fought John Ryder because John Ryder was his mandatory. Yeah, John Ryder was supposedly Canelo's mandatory. Canelo didn't waste no time fighting John Ryder. At the same time, the whole time John Ryder was his mandatory, David Benavidez was his mandatory. So y'all let me know what John Ryder brought to the table. Did they pay Canelo Alvarez $60 million to fight John Ryder? And I mean $60 million up front. Absolutely not. What did John Ryder bring to the table? When he moved a 40-year-old Triple G up, what did Triple G bring to the table? Triple G wasn't the champion. Triple G was 40 years old and coming up to a weight division he had never fought at before. What did he bring to the table? Absolutely nothing. So now you mean to tell me the biggest fight in boxing, David Benavidez, Canelo Alvarez, you telling me he doesn't bring anything to the table? And then this man had the nerve enough once again to say that he could make that amount of money, $60 million, whatever they say they offered, with anybody. Lies. And he says it's not about the money. It's not about the money. I can make that with anybody. But then he turns around and says the only way he'll fight David Benavidez is a promoter, whoever it may be, have to pay him $150 million to $200 million, and then he'll take the fight with no problem, no issues. $150 million to $200 million, and this is y'all favorite fighter? Canelo Alvarez, like I said, this is why he's the face of boxing, because this is what boxing has turned into. And Canelo, yeah, he's the leader of it. He's the leader of ducking. He's the leader of pussy-ish. Canelo Alvarez, yeah. It's a lot of y'all favorite fighter that's listening to this. Y'all gonna get in the comments, y'all gonna cry. Oh, look at that David Benavidez. He needs to be fighting at 175. Y'all say that real fast when y'all scared for a fighter to step in the ring that presents a real threat to y'all favorite fighter. See, y'all act like these fighters are superheroes to y'all. Y'all are now no longer boxing fans. Y'all are protection fans. Because y'all turn into protectors. You'll protect your favorite fighter at all costs. Don't get in the ring with David Benavidez because we don't want to see you lose just as bad as you don't want to see yourself get beat down and lose. Yeah. What happened to that Bivol rematch? Canelo Alvarez didn't want that neither. Like I said, the face of boxing, strategically picking opponents that you know you can beat, ducking the opponents that you look at as a real threat, and making a million excuses on why you're doing it. If any of y'all are supporting this Canelo Alvarez versus Jaime Munguia, you are the problem in boxing. Y'all are the problem in boxing. And you know what? PBC, Al Hammond, shame on you. Shame on you for even putting this fight together, because what you should have did is you should have backed the fighter that y'all promote in David Benavidez and told Canelo you'll never get another payday with us until you fight David Benavidez. If you don't fight David Benavidez, we don't want to do no business with you. But see, boxing is a dirty game. All these dudes don't have no integrity, and especially the WBC, because they're the ones that Canelo Alvarez can talk like this, be hella arrogant, and tell everybody he don't have to answer to nobody. He does what he wants when he wants in the sport of boxing, because these sanctioning bodies, they take this payola under the table and they let Canelo do and duck whoever he feels like it, whenever he feels like it. And boxing, this is a shame. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of people watch UFC and don't watch boxing, because pussies like Canelo Alvarez. Anyway, y'all let me know how y'all feel. Drop a comment in the comment section. Make sure you hit my like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subbed. And y'all already know how I do. Jago talking that boxing again, and I'm gone.
It didn't book us. Every time you look up, I'm right.